Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It's Friday, July 25th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
Why did the ducks take down the decorations? Booble said. Because they were quacked.
To ask Harper Grace what she wants to be when she's older is a bit of a silly question.
Offer, I already am.
A soon-to-be grade 5 student at Essex Public School, Harper recently published her first book, Maricopia, A Tale of Hope, a fantasy humor story following Harmony, a mermaid dog.
You can get the power of the elements, except there's 5. Water, earth, wind, thunder, and fire, and Harmony has got all of them. She's the Ultima, and she and her friends go on this quest to stop the Fire Lord.
Harper has been putting pen to paper since she was 7, even going back at times to improve on her writing.
Not one word on the first page is the same as it was when I started.
The 10-year-old wrote all 235 pages and added her own illustrations with a little help from her little brother Ryan.
I felt like it would be easier to draw a picture from a little kid if it was done by an actual little kid, so...
Harper's work is receiving attention, now making its way onto Amazon. So far, her debut publication has reached about 50 copies sold.
I was kind of worried that nobody would care, but I guess a kid writing a book is a big deal.
It started as like a way to just kind of like have her settle down before bed. She would just write a few pages because we cut screen time off a little bit in advance. And then she just kept going with it.
Interest in the book is even making waves across the school board. But for her mom, the success is anything but surprising.
She's a very creative kid, and she's a very stubborn kid. So when she sets her heart on something, it's usually successful.
A knack for creative writing, Harper isn't slowing down, already planning a new addition to her bibliography, The End of the Rainbow.
I have a very good idea of like picturing things in my mind, how things want to go. Like with my next book, I'm like planning the entire first chapter out in my head right as I speak.
She's hoping that story will be another chapter in her career with an already budding byline. Robert Lothian, CTV News, Windsor.
This is what patients will hear as they wait in the Hudson Regional Cancer Center. The 43-minute soundscape created for Royal Victoria Regional Health Centre by sound artist Scott Rogers.
Birdsong in this case is both a beautiful thing to listen to, but it's also something that's going to improve patient experience and make people feel better.
The composition includes 6-channel sound recordings of 73 bird species that span from northern Ontario and Quebec all the way to Peru.
One who may be going in for the first time. It's very, very scary.
It was an idea that was inspired by the late Tracy Barker, a longtime RVH cancer patient.
This idea of bringing in nature to soothe that feeling of anxiety and stress, I think it is just going to have such a huge impact.
Barker died this past year, but her wish did not. A team of art curators who also fought the battle helped bring Barker's idea to life.
I had this idea, is it possible we can bring more experiential public contemporary works, experiences, and into healthcare environment.
The curators appealing to Rogers and his extensive background in art and sound installations at festivals like Nuit Blanche.
My mother went through cancer treatment, so I spent a lot of time as her carer in these environments.
According to RVH, more than 80 patients have given positive feedback.
It is changing the experience of one from high anxiety to calm and curiosity and a sense of being with nature.
Between Leaf and Light will be set up in the waiting room until the fall pending funding and additional feedback. And RVH staff say that if the first of its kind soundscape is a success in their cancer center, then perhaps it'll be a success in other cancer centers. Mike Lang, CTV News, Barrie.
A mammoth batting practice home run off the facing of the 500 level at Rogers Centre.
Hit the light blue standard up there.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. swinging some Canadian-made wood.
Ball's just jumping off his bats. Super exciting. It was 20 years in the making, like me and Paul making bats. And to see a superstar like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. take the swings he was taking, we're very excited.
Windsor area natives and former London Majors players Ryan Laponce and Paul Lamancia are breaking through in the baseball bat industry.
I did dream about it. I don't think you could ever imagine that you'd have superstars like Nick Castellanos and Bryce Harper swinging.
Backyard Bats has hired the brother of Blue Jays manager John Schneider as their COO. This week, they took advantage of that connection.
Asked me to reach out to Vlad if he wanted to use some. And, Vlad, I think it doesn't really matter what he's swinging. He's going to swing it well. And like what he felt his first round to be big. Good Canadian wood, right? I've seen him do that, quite a few times. But if he can do that pretty regularly with the backyard bat, that'd be a good thing for him and a good thing for us.
Laponce and Lamancia had great careers in the Inter-County Baseball League, with Laponce reaching as high as AAA as a player. They believe their bat is a product of their on-field success.
Me and Paul knowing how to hit, and Paul being that master bat craftsman, I think the players, it resonates with them.
Now the duo are trying to compete with major companies in the industry. It's not easy, but getting it in the players' hands is the first step, then letting their product prove its worth.
I tried as a player to get to the big leagues, and to see our bat there, it's just as satisfying, if not more, just how difficult it is for a bat maker to get this opportunity.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
A small but determined crowd called for Bill 96 to be thrown out. They say the law is a nail in the coffin for the English-speaking community.
We have a history here. Even though some politicians choose to ignore it and erase it, we do have a history here. And we have every right to be here, and we're not leaving, and we're going to fight. We're staying.
They worry that educational institutions are being unfairly targeted.
We shouldn't be the scapegoats because French is in decline. That's not how to save a language. That's how to destroy a language.
They point to the $30 million fine LaSalle College is facing for enrolling too many students in its English language programs over the past 2 academic years.
There are so many Francophone students in LaSalle College that are going to be harmed too if the school closes because of this $30 million fine.
LaSalle College is contesting the fine in Quebec's Superior Court. In a statement, the Office of Higher Education Minister Pascal Derry said, "Proceedings are taking their course. Despite support and several warnings, LaSalle is the only subsidized private college to continue defying the Charter of the French language and failing to comply with it for the 2nd year running. As the matter is before the courts, we won't comment further."
Equality, fairness.
Steve Theberge came from Quebec City to join Thursday's protest.
I think Bill 96 should be, many articles should be invalidated. I think it's more that the people are waking up and the world is becoming more and more bilingual. And so that's where the issue is.
And even though it was a small crowd, these protesters say they'll continue fighting for Anglo rights. Matt Grillo, CTV News.
This water, fast moving. Getting caught up in it can be dangerous. On this day, this is all part of a training exercise.
The really important thing in swift water is don't try to stand up.
Members of Ottawa Fire's water rescue teams train here, so they're ready for when real emergency calls come in.
That was really deep there.
We practice swimming, aggressive swimming, catching eddies, just like we did with you. We'll put victims in the water and do a go rescue where one of our guys is tethered to shore.
After jumping into the water, I'm quickly carried away.
If you find yourself in this situation, try to get on your back, feet up, use your arms to steer you where you want to go.
Ottawa Fire, try and swim to me.
Ottawa Fire water rescue technician Matt Cheslock jumps in to get me.
We have to time it up so that you're close enough that when we jump, we can swim to you. Like if we jump in and you're already gone, we'll never catch you because we're both going at the same speed.
These skills crucial when navigating the most notorious spot in Ottawa, the Deschênes Rapids near Britannia Beach.
Part of the problem is you can't see it that well upstream. By the time people realize where they are in the rapids that are ahead, the current's already moving so fast they can't get themselves out.
Last year, firefighters made 15 water rescues here. So far this year, already 13.
One of the things that we train for is how to read the water and which way to go up. And that's why we have 2 teams that one will go above the rapids and one will be below. If they can't get them up quick enough above, then we can either get them below.
Some areas are off limits, even to rescuers. It's just too dangerous.
One of the spots that we can't operate in, just because there's so many hazards. There's rebar, there's chunks of concrete everywhere. So this is one of the most dangerous spots on this stretch of river.
Back in the training area,
These waters move fast.
when this team isn't saving lives for real, they're practicing how to do it, ready for when that call comes.
And they may not have to rescue someone every time, but these teams get dispatched to water rescue calls pretty well every single shift during the warmer months. So thank you to everyone involved in this, and a special shout out to Tyler Fleming, who was in that water right there with me, and he too was rescued.
One more weekend closure to go before the work is done on the A. Murray-Mackay Bridge, where the toll booths used to stand.
Traffic flow has improved.
The closure will run from Friday at 8 p.m. until 5:30 Monday morning. When the bridge reopens, drivers will notice better aesthetics and a jump in the speed limit from 50 to 70 kilometers per hour, where the tolls used to be.
The objective was to remove barrier to have a better flow of traffic on those roads, right? So increasing that speed limit makes sense. There is always a risk, like particularly I would say in the initial time, but like the design speed is there for the 70 kilometer or more.
The tolls on the Mackay and McDonald bridges came off back in March. The periodic weekend closures forced motorists to find another way around the harbor, causing congestion in certain areas.
Lots going on this coming weekend.
Bumper-to-bumper traffic is again expected with a Halifax Wanderers game Friday night and 2 weekend festivals at Alderney Landing in Dartmouth.
It'd be good to see some increased coordination across the spectrum there on transportation. So when you are losing a bridge, maybe we'd increase the ferry traffic. It would be nice to see the Dartmouth ferry increased every 15 minutes.
The ramp to Princess Margaret Boulevard will also reopen to traffic on Monday. The next closure for the McDonald Bridge is August 3rd from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. for the annual Bridge Walk. And Todd, with that jump in the speed limit from 50 to 70 kilometers per hour, bridge officials say there will be enforcement measures in place to make sure motorists are obeying the new speed limit.
I'm just watching Hulk Hogan against The Rock right now.
For independent wrestler Corey Spade, Hulk Hogan is more than a wrestler.
Life wasn't really easy in the 80s. But I watch Hogan, and no matter what anybody does or how evil they are, dirty deeds, Hogan's always true.
He says before Hogan came on the scene, wrestling was just something to watch on TV.
I didn't really know who anybody was or anything. It was just a guy like in the red against this guy's in blue. But all of a sudden, one day, this Hulk Hogan came up.
After drifting away from wrestling, Spade says it was a chance meeting with Hulk that got him in the ring in his late 30s.
They brought me up on the stage, and Hulk Hogan signed the frame for me and shook my hand. And when he shook my hand, I don't know, it's magic. I said, I think I can still do this stuff. And then I did it.
For Jeff Black, who co-owns Kitchener's Off the Ropes Wrestling Studio, a similar childhood story.
It was Hulk Hogan. Anyone that was across the ring from him, I hated him. He was the ultimate good guy.
He says Hogan's name is synonymous with the sport.
When I describe what we do here, I say it's stuff like Hulk Hogan did. You know, and that it's just he encapsulates professional wrestling.
Both Black and Spade say they are choosing to mourn the wrestler and not the complicated human being.
And I may not agree with a lot of his stuff he does in his life, but none of that will ever change my memory of Hulk Hogan.
You gotta separate the man from the character. I like to remember the character because it's got a special place.
So certainly a sad day for wrestling fans, saying goodbye to the original icon of the sport, the man who told us all to train, say our prayers, and eat our vitamins. Brother.
Our system is extremely robust and quite unique.
It's a groundbreaking innovation created by University of Waterloo alumni.
At IntelliJoint Surgical, we help orthopedic surgeons doing hip and knee replacements.
Armin McCurtsian co-founded the company in 2010, inspired by his father's work as an orthopedic surgeon. he saw gaps in care.
Of course, they're human. It's very difficult to measure degrees, single degrees, or single millimeters by eye, or using their training and their judgments.
So he created IntelliJoint, a sort of computer-assisted navigation system that improves surgical outcomes in hip and knee replacements.
Anywhere in the middle is good.
It uses a miniature optical camera to deliver real-time, precise measurements.
So at this point, then they would save.
It also reduces the need for invasive and costly repeat surgeries.
Patients don't have the wrong length of leg, for example, after surgery, which unfortunately does happen 50% of the time if technology is not used.
IntelliJoint's technology has been used in more than 70,000 surgeries in multiple countries over the last 15 years, but getting approval for use in Canada has taken time.
It's a difficult journey to be accepted by the Ontario healthcare system.
But recently, a big breakthrough.
We're very fortunate that our local hospital, Waterloo Regional, has access to IntelliJoint's technologies.
While access is limited across other health networks, they hope it'll continue to grow in the right direction. And their argument is simple.
If you have access to a ruler or to a level, why wouldn't you use it to put up a shelf? I mean, that's the logic that we use.
Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
This barista has just 15 minutes to make coffee that will wow a panel of judges. She's one of 18 baristas competing in the National Barista Championship hosted by Edmonton's Colombian Coffee Bar and Roastery.
We just wanted to bring that vibrancy and just have people from across Canada come to actually check us out as like a very thriving scene of specialty coffee.
Competitors tell a story as they brew.
The coffees that are actually being used at this competition are some of the best coffees that you will ever have access to in your life. These coffees are sourced and they are very, very expensive, but they're sourced from really phenomenal coffee producers.
Each barista is required to make 3 coffees.
So we'll do the pure espresso, a milk beverage, which is like cappuccino, and then we'll do a signature beverage. So it's a drink created with coffee. It's kind of like a mocktail.
The whole time they have not 1, but 10 judges watching their every move and listening to every word. This is Kitty Chan's second time at Nationals. The Calgarian says it can be nerve-wracking.
We were taught to think of them as like micromanagers at the cafe.
The judges want to ensure whomever wins will be the best to represent Canada at the World Barista Championships in the fall. Canada has finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at previous World Championships, but has yet to win.
They want to make sure that they possess the skills to present, the technical skills, the knowledge of coffee, as well as the sensory knowledge to know how to communicate a sensory experience to people.
There are 5 baristas from Edmonton competing in the Nationals this weekend. It's taking place through Sunday at the Oliver Exchange 2 building and is open to the public. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Behind the blooming canola fields of Saskatchewan are not just long hours spent farming, but thinking about crops.
And so most of the research is, differences in fertility or pest control methods, that sort of thing.
This research farm near Yorkton is hosting a field day, allowing participants to step into the field with the East Central Research Foundation and Suncrest College.
We being East Central Research Foundation, we're part of the AgriArm network of research sites across Saskatchewan, and we cooperate on a lot of different research projects.
Hall says they do miniature farming on a smaller scale to conduct crop production research and extension activities for the ag industry.
So we've got chickpeas, we've got intercropping with flax, we've got flax trials, pea trials, we're trying soybeans again.
The findings help farmers be more diligent about their crops.
Sometimes the best learning experience is the one that fails for farmers because they don't need to be talked into doing something that won't work in their area. And so sometimes the negative results in a research farm are the best information we can get.
Visitors spend the morning touring the field and learning about ongoing research.
I think it's wonderful because then it gives education along with, community spirit and stuff like that. It helps. Education for the farmers, for the staff, for everybody.
Planting seeds of innovation to yield bountiful harvests for the years to come. Fruzsina de Kloot, CTV News, Yorkton.
Alan Lubberding has been keeping busy doing something he'd rather not.
I've killed by now 2 weeks, 2,000, at least 2,000.
Grasshoppers can be seen on his plants, on the sidewalk, on top of the fence, and in his pool.
Some of them are still moving. We've been living here for 30 years, never seen grasshoppers like this. In 30 years, never seen it.
Lubberding says the field behind his house belongs to the province's transportation utility corridor, and it's crawling with them.
I can kill what's in my yard, but they just keep coming over the fence from the field.
The city of St. Albert says it has received a few recent complaints. A communications advisor tells CTV News the issue is not exclusive to the city and is something areas around the province are experiencing. She added they are monitoring the situation.
Probably what happened was there might have been some green growth in a certain spot last year, and the female grasshoppers were attracted to that, laid most of their eggs there. So there's always somebody who's unlucky and they're closest to it. That could be it.
This environmental science professor says keeping your yard wet is the best way to keep them away. But when dealing with large infestations...
So there's no easy solution, unfortunately. However, finding those spots where they were laying eggs could help prevent a little bit of the problem next year.
As the weather gets warmer, more bugs are joining the fray.
They're just everywhere. Like, you can't sit and enjoy your yard, you know, and they're chewing the plants. We spend our time trying to catch and kill grasshoppers.
For now, Lubberding's grandchildren will continue to help him deal with the problem. Merrick Takash, CTV News, St. Albert.
The phrase is quid pro quo.
I know, but it doesn't work with black tie.
Before they started doing crosswords together, Wendelin and Ronald were puzzled by each other when they first met in grad school.
And unbeknownst to me, she was watching with one of her friends, and they were having a good giggle over this guy.
Well, Wendelin found it humorous the way he organized his desk, and Ronald found it peculiar that she would pay attention. They ended up becoming friends.
Became part of a study group, and it continued.
Continued through their first date, having picnic in a park, to their wedding, exchanging vows at New Year's.
It's important to not just fall in love. You have to like that person.
And while they both like each other, when it comes to doing the crossword, they are not alike.
He doesn't like that I put down an answer. He thinks sometimes too hastily.
But like you need to look at clues from different angles, you need to appreciate your partner's unique perspectives.
She brings her life experiences into it. I bring my own.
And when they bring their whole family together every Christmas to connect over one big crossword, they follow one rule.
You never Google the answer. You know, you have to be able to do it on your own.
Yet Wendelin and Ronald have been doing crosswords as a team every morning for more than 30 years.
A nice way to spend breakfast.
And after spending more than 12,000 mornings like this, you learn that if you start your day practicing patience and persistence together, you're more likely to end your day feeling connected and cared for.
And you realize how you work together to do things.
And you realize the secret to having a good marriage is not so cryptic. It's simply a 3-letter word: fun.
He's the expert at doing the crosswords, but often I will be right. And thank heavens for whiteout, which makes it so much easier to do a crossword.
Adam Swatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.